I'm going to tell y'all a story that you're going to think this guy's either crazy or he's making it up. So one time years ago, I kept having this reoccurring dream. And it wasn't exactly the same every time, but it was the same person every time. And this girl, I kept dreaming about, her name was Angela. And before you start assuming things, let me tell you, Angela isn't someone you wanted to dream about. She wasn't very attractive. I just say she was poor. She didn't have good hygiene. She almost looked like Medusa. I mean, she was wild looking. And to be honest, I was afraid of her. But I knew her name was Angela. I knew that for whatever reason that I kept dreaming about her, and I was sick of it. So I would tell people, please pray that I will not dream about this girl no more. And I dreamed about her like once a week for probably a year. And I was just sick of it. And to the point where I was just begging God, please don't let me dream. I'd go to sleep and go, please don't let me dream about her tonight. And so everybody I knew that I hung out with was just sick of hearing about Angela. And they're like, I don't even want to hear it, including my wife and kids. So one day, I'm driving down the road, and I'm riding with a friend of mine who's now passed away. But we're riding down the road, and I just had this horrible feeling come over me, like terrified. And I didn't know why. But we were driving down the road, and he looked over at me, and he said, dude, you okay? And I went, I don't know what's up, but something's wrong. And I'm not psychic or any weird stuff. I'm not. I'm just a normal dude. But I just had this premonition that something was about to happen. And it scared me. So we're going down the highway. And I look, and this is a 4-lane road with a divider in the middle. And anyway, I look up, and there's a wild, crazy-looking woman coming the opposite way towards us. So there's 4 lanes of traffic between us. We're in the slow lane, and then there's a fast lane, then there's a turning lane, and then there's the other fast lane, and then there's the slow lane, and then there's her. So there's a lot of distance between us, and we're probably 150 feet or 200 feet from her. And I'm looking at her, and immediately I'm like, and I went, oh my God. And I just bust out crying. And he says, what's the matter? And I went, that's freaking Angela. And he slams on his brake, and he's like, there is no way that is her. And I said, yes, I swear to you that's her. And I'm crying beyond words at this point. I'm like terrified. And he goes, well, if that's her, then you're going to go back and you're going to talk to her. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm terrified of this woman. In my dream, this woman was demonic. I mean, this woman was straight up demonic. And so I'm like, oh my God, this woman's going to attack me or something. I'm so scared. And so we pull up. He does a U-turn, and he pulls up behind her. But he's about probably 100 feet behind her. But she turns around, and she looks at us. And she just stops in the road, and she's staring at us. And that scares me even more, because she's just sitting there looking at us like we've lost our mind. And he says, get out and talk to her. Please don't make me. And I'm just so scared. I've done called my wife, and I'm freaking out. And so I get out, and I start walking towards her, and she's just staring at me. And she doesn't say anything. She just kind of got a blank stare on her face. And I said, hey, ma'am, what is your name? And she says, my name is Angela. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I start crying, and I said, hey, I need to talk to you just for a minute. And then she says, what about? Are you a cop? And I said, no, I'm not a cop. And so I said, I've been having dreams about you. And she says, so I guess you could say I'm the woman of your dreams. Yeah, I guess you could say that. And although she wasn't fun to look at, she was right. She was the woman in my dreams anyway. And so I said, hey, do you know Jesus Christ? And she says, oh, I know who he is. And then I'm like, well, that's not specific enough because, I mean, Satan knows who Jesus is. And I said, do you know Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior? And she says, why are you asking me this? What do you want from me? And so I told her that I'd been dreaming about her for about a year now, and that I believe that God put me in her path so that I could share the love of Christ with her, and that so she could know how much he truly loves her, so that he showed me this in a vision, and that he knows that she's gone through a lot, and that she's had some terrible things happen to her, and that he wants to forgive her and set her free from all the things that she's been through. And what I'm implying, obviously, is all the demonic stuff. And so I'm terrified. I'm so afraid this woman's going to attack me. And she says, you think I'm demonic? And I said, I don't think anything. I just think that God sent me here. And she says, no, you think I'm demonic. And I said, I think that God sent me here to set you free from everything that Satan has thrown at you. And that he wants to give you a new life. And that he wants you to be his child. And that he wants you from this moment forward to live a life that glorifies and honors him. So we wound up talking for about an hour. And she got in the truck and she sat down and she talked. And eventually she gave her life to Jesus Christ. And I don't even know why I'm telling you this, but I guess the reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to know that there's no boundaries to God's goodness. There's nothing he won't do to reach you. There's nothing he won't do. There's no rivers he won't cross. There's no walls he won't climb. Even if it involves showing someone in a dream who you are and the things you've encountered and had to deal with, he will send someone to show you the truth of his son, and that he has a plan and a purpose for you. It might be this very video, but I want you to know that Jesus Christ loves you just as much as he loves Angela. I wound up taking Angela to church with me for probably 6 months. My wife and I would pick her up. And Angela was, she's rough. She didn't bathe. She didn't know how to read. She didn't know how to write. There was a lot of things that was hard for me to deal with Angela. But God had put her in my life for a reason. And it was something that I knew. And therefore I was obedient. But God also put this video in your life. And it's so that you can know that you're loved. And that there is nothing that you've done that he won't forgive you of. And it's time. It's time to quit running and to run, not run from the Father, run to the Father. He's waiting on you. You.